Jennifer. So Chris Pine is very much known for these big blockbuster thrillers and action movies. So what was your reaction when he reached out to you about doing this very quirky, offbeat comedy movie?
It is. It's a very quirky, offbeat comedy movie, and it feels very personal to him, and it's very original. I had never read anything like it, and it just seemed very funny and specific and odd, and it also seemed like a genuine love letter to LA. And I've always really liked him. I really like his work. It just seemed like a fun, like a wonderful project to be a part of.
Yeah, and there's such a great cast here. And DeWanda, one thing I loved about this film was your looks throughout. You are in these beautiful outfits every single time you pop in, just a whole different fashion style. How is it just putting on all these great dresses and seeing these different looks your characters had?
I think it's one of those roles where, there are certain, and I've played a couple actually, where the wardrobe really gets you into character. There's something about, and every dress, every outfit in this film was like vintage. It was like all, from the 40s through the 70s. And so, yeah, there's something about being in a cinched waist. You know what I mean? Like wearing the push-up bra and doing the whole thing and like really being gathered that tells you like, oh, this is how my character stands. This is the posture. This is how she walks. This is how she moves through the world. So yeah, it's a super, super character informed by wardrobe.
And Jennifer, I loved your scenes with John Ortiz in this movie. Every single one was so charming. What stood out about him as a scene partner? Because you guys had such great chemistry in the movie.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I loved working with him. He's so easy. You trust him immediately. You just want to like cuddle in there because he's just so. You feel like you could trust him with anything. He's one of those people you feel like you could tell him your life story in 2 seconds, and you want to know everything about him. I mean, like, we never had these conversations, of course.
Yeah, but he's a very loving
you feel
person.
it. He's incredibly warm, open, loving. We improvised a lot. Yeah, I would love to work with him again.
Yeah.
I think he's he's the best.
I hope to see that. And DeWanda, I was curious, since it was Chris's directorial debut, what kind of stood out about him behind the camera as a director?
I just think he's very specific. I have been, I worked on a show with Spike Lee, and Spike is the kind of director where he's like, casting is the job. Like, he just lets you play. You know what I mean? There is not a lot of like, telling you what to do. You just get to kind of do your thing. And this was honestly the first time in a long time where I worked with a director who was very incisive, where, his vision for the story and this character was so specific that the satisfaction of an actor, kind of like, you kind of lead into that, like, when you hit it, even though the target is very, very like small and very hard to hit. So it's very satisfying. Like, he's a very satisfying director to work with. Like, I was really actually in that moment really craving that experience of working and having someone who was going to like really challenge me in a way, and he did.
And Jennifer, my last question, you have this great scene with Annette Bening where she has your back, you're talking about relationship issues. How fun was it just working with her?
She's incredible to work with and to just hang out with. She has the best stories. She tells them with such detail and specificity, and she's so funny. She's a marvel. Like, you could really just want to, you don't even have to like open your mouth at all almost, because she fills the space in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
And she's also really welcoming, and she's very warm, because might be intimidating meeting Annette Bening, and she just calls you right over and starts chatting with you. I love her.